Going through a spiritual awakening is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the faint of heart. It is not peaches and cream. It is not milk and lavender. It is not a bed of roses. You know, some people who are awakening in the spiritual community, they don't really tell you everything. Some of them do. Some of them don't. The ones who tell you the truth, they will tell you what exactly is happening, what you really need to have to understand, overstand, and understand. So what are you supposed to do when your old life falls apart in front of your face? What are you supposed to do? When everything you thought you knew has been the complete opposite. When the relationship you believed in was a fake relationship, codependent relationship, the family you knew was a very horrible family, the job you used to do. So what are you supposed to do when all this truth comes to you? What are you meant to do? The universe is testing you. God is testing you. God wants to know. Okay? How much are you willing to take? How bad do you want to elevate? You've already showed God that you wasn't comfortable with your old life. So you went through a tower moment, okay? A tower moment was triggered because if it came in comfortable, it wouldn't shake you well enough to uproot you from the illusion. So the tower moment happens, you know, the breakups. And we surely understand the breakup is very painful, okay? Breakup or discard. So you fall away from your family, you fall away from your jobs, you fall away from relationships, from your church. It's not pretty. People have really got to be very honest with you and they have to tell you what exactly is happening. It is not pretty. So what you have to do when you wake up and you realize your father's a narcissist, what do you do? Your son is a narcissist. Your best friend is a narcissist. You have these witches and warlocks that have been siphoning your energy for the longest of time. You have people who have already destiny swapped with you. And you know for sure the life that you have been living was not the life that you was meant to live. So you finally understand that people have been trying to do, people have attempted, even some of them have done, destiny swapped with you over the years. So what are you meant to do with that truth? Other than start to see things for what they are. One of the things that will surely propel you further into your journey is understanding why you are awake. Why have you awakened? You are not necessarily ready to move to the next level, but it is the beginning of your journey into the next level, into your next level. So when you're moving to the next level, the old you has got to die, ladies and gentlemen. The old you has got to go. That old version of you has got to die. And I'm not saying these old things happen in one day. You just wake up one morning and all of a sudden you're a new person. No, no, no. It doesn't happen in one day. These things take time. But do you know what it feels like when your old life is crumbling? Do you know what it feels like when you're realizing that the things you thought you held dear to your heart, all those things are disappearing in real time, and there's nothing else you can do? Do you know what it feels like living in a home or environment, and you're looking around, your bed is broken down, your fridge is broken down, your TV doesn't work anymore, your friends are not calling you, you're feeling isolated. Everything that you used to know on your old timeline is falling apart. Do you know what it really feels like when you're watching everything in real time fall apart? It is not pretty. It is not smooth. In the first couple of months, it will shake you out of your old foundation. Is why people call it, I also call it, the tower moment. The tower moment happens so that the universe can shake up the old, remove the stagnant energy, then the new can come in. And the new doesn't come in 24 hours. There is some work that has got to be done. Do you really know, have an idea for the most of you guys that have done it already? Do you know how hard and painful is it to heal? Do you know how hard is it has been for the ones that have done the work to heal? Do you know what did they have to do to start their healing journey? The pain of healing is excruciating. Do you actually know the reason why some people, they decide to go back to sleep? Because now you don't know what to do. You're like, okay, so that is that was the old life. So it was a family, that's all you know. That was a job, it's all you had. Then sometimes you have to walk out of your job that was draining your soul, even without having a plan B. Do you know what it really means, walking away from a family without knowing where it is you're going? Sometimes you don't even have a job. You don't even have friends around you, but you have just got to go. There is something that is pushing you to go. You just go, you know? You're moving with faith without really seeing where it is you're heading to. The years that I had my awakening some years ago, the only thing I had in my possession was 2 suitcases and some little plastics where I, put my plates and all these, I put my plates, I put the cups, some few things, few belongings, just a few bags, and my television set. That's all I had. So everything you ever built, you're leaving it behind. So, in other words, you are walking out there to start from scratch. Do you know the anxiety a person feels when you realize that you're now going to start beginning, you will begin from scratch? The narcissist has already destroyed your finances. So you don't even know how you're going to live through the next couple of days, but you have something pushing you to move. One of the things I've noticed along the journey, so when you start moving, you don't always have to know the next steps. Just start with the first one, even if it doesn't make sense. The little step, just one of it. Start with that one. And as you continue moving, the universe starts showing you the different steps, the other steps. The other ones are invisible at that time because you're on a timeline that cannot fully see. You cannot fully look into the future to see what are the next steps you're going to take. But you're moving with faith because you believe as you take that step, another one is going to show up. And one after the other one, you are surely going to get to where you want to be. People that have awakened, you know, you realize these people that have been, destiny swapping with you, the energy vampires, the harvesters and vampires, they're going on the rampant. They feel like they have got a very strong entitlement to your energy. So they feel like they are entitled to your energy. So now you're waking up, you're starting to move, and you're leaving them in that space, that void. And they don't know what to do with the void. People that go through awakenings, they experience the gang stalking, You've already been gang stalked, but maybe at a minimum level, because, you was at that timeline where you're predictable. But when you start moving further, elevating yourself spiritually, you're moving into new timelines. And these demons that used to siphon your energy, they no longer know what to do with you. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to date? That kind of stuff. They cannot figure you out properly. So they don't know which way they're going to siphon your energy. Do you know a lot of people are spiritually attacked post-awakening? So some people, they think that, okay, you left and they don't have access to you, so they decide to go and do this black magic and everything. They try to do a lot of things to you. Where do you think those dreams are coming from? In those months post-awakening? Where do you think those nightmares are coming from? The witches and warlocks, they want to drag you back to a spot where they could siphon your energy. So it is not for the weak. Spiritual awakening is not for the weak. Let nobody just come around and, promise you all these. The end result is to elevate, and of course, spiritual and everything. You can elevate and ascend, but it is shaky. The beginning of everything is so shaky. It will shake you out of your boots. And sometimes you run into these videos and you find people like me, maybe some other coaches, and they are telling you things that don't fully much make a lot of sense to you. And sometimes you can even get triggered, because you are stepping back into your truest, authentic nature. Your truest, authentic nature. It also involves speaking your truth and standing for the truth. So you surely understand that you're going to trigger a lot of people. Your family members will refuse to understand you, even if they can almost hear what you're saying. They may just refuse stubbornly to understand you. So out of the blue, you're crazy. Out of the blue, you need to go to a therapist. Out of the blue, you need professional help. Because now you're starting to realize the fakery. You can see the fakery. You can see the fake smiles. You can read the fake energy. So the people that are listening to you, or maybe the people that are around you, the only way they can run away from your truth is by finding a label for you. And there's no other label that they can use other than calling you crazy and insane. But you're not crazy. You just awakened around people that are asleep. You don't have to take it personal if people fail to understand you. Because I've told you, this is a journey for a selected few. Not everybody is going to wake up in this lifetime. Some people didn't come here to wake up. The NPCs are not going to wake up. Some of them won't wake up. They just go through life, do what they do, and that's it. They check out. They're not meant to wake up. A person that wakes up is an individual who has got a very big mission. But you cannot step into that mission before understanding what exactly was happening. So you have got to, first of all, go through an awakening. A lot of people that go through the spiritual awakenings, they tend to find their purpose along the journey. But the enemy doesn't want you to find your purpose. So it's why the attacks intensify. In the first couple of months when you awaken is when you start to run into this spiritual narcissist. I recently saw a lady that was talking on, online. The same thing happened. She was with this narcissist man. Couple of years, she awakened and she ran into another spiritual narcissist. Only to figure out 2 months later, 2.5 months later, that she was dealing with a spiritual narcissist. So where do you think all those things come from? All those people come from? They are coming in to hijack your awakening. They want to hijack your timeline so that they can put you back to sleep into that lower frequency where it was comfortable for them to siphon your energy. Is why you get a lot of these attacks happening post-awakening. So what we learned from this video, ladies and gentlemen, when you have awakened, yes, the truth is, it will be shaky. Yes, it's going to be shaky. It's frightening. You come into the realization of how much you didn't know, how much was hidden from you, what you couldn't see, the fakery, the illusions. And it's not comfortable, ladies and gentlemen. It is something that overwhelms you. And you're going to be faced with a choice. Now that you know the truth, are you willing to go further with your journey, or are you willing to sit down with that old self, old reality? Now that you know everything, you have seen it in broad daytime, in 3D, you are faced with the decision to choose whether it is going to be more comfortable for you to continue with the toxic family, or you are going to choose growth over comfort. It shakes you out of your comfort zone. That thing you called comfort, that toxic environment, toxic relationship that you used to term as comfort, you are being unplugged from the matrix. But because your energy has been too used to these breadcrumbs here and there, the toxic parent, they come around and breadcrumb you a little bit here and there just to keep you in that bubble. You're refusing the breadcrumbs, even without seeing where you're going to buy your next bread. You're being breadcrumbed, and you're refusing to the breadcrumbs without you fully understanding where you're going to get the next loaf. So that's what it feels like. You're choosing growth over comfort, and growth, ladies and gentlemen, is not comfortable. So sometimes when you hear these videos and you get triggered, it is simply because you are listening to somebody that has already walked that path. I would never teach you things, or I would never tell you things I do not know. The earlier you align yourself with the truth, the easier it is going to get for you. So what we do, me and other people that is awake, we now tell you exactly what things you need to expect, what the journey looks like, and how to go about this whole journey. There's even some people that are specifically dealing with spiritual awakening. There are some spiritual awakening coaches. They just take you through these whole processes and everything. Okay? So if you feel you're confused, find your awakening coach to direct you on the next levels to take. Okay? But again, it's a good thing. The sun always comes out after the storm. Okay, so just prepare yourself, the storm will pass and you will meet the light at the end of the tunnel. Let us know what you think about the video. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will see you guys in my next one. There is Amos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.